just watched a video that made me incredibly emotional and urged to action. Um, so it was Soft White Underbelly's latest upload, and it was the one that was like how childhood trauma destroys us or something like that. Just uploaded this morning, and it made me so sad to see. And I know that's definitely also because of hormones right now, but I left a comment on that video, and me getting in the writing spirit is kind of my motivating force in starting this video, because I wanted to share my thoughts with you guys, and I want to like have a powerful enough word to be able to like motivate you guys who are listening to also want to like do the best you can in your day. But I don't really know how to accomplish or reach the goal that I want to reach, because ultimately what I want is for everyone on this planet to have access to shelter, food, and water. The 3 necessities of life. And I mean, I don't really know what it would look like taking steps in reality to accomplish that. But I mean, just seeing homeless people on the internet makes me so sad. Like, I mean, if you become homeless, it's like, I can only imagine how difficult it is to become civilized again after stuff like that happens. Because, I mean, like, usually when you get a job somewhere, they want you to, like, have an address and a phone and a social security and a, like, way to get to work. So if you end up without that stuff, it can be, I don't really know, just so much unnecessary stress. And I think the simplest solution would just be making all 3 necessities of life free for everyone. Because, I mean, if you're listening to this right now, that means you're a human, unless you're like a robot listening. But humans have one thing that robots will never have, and that is the ability to care. And a mother's love is like, you know, maybe it's sometimes overlooked or forgotten about. I guess I'll just take this down. They turn the heat on in here. It's really, really hot in here, which is what I want. But well, just really bothers me to think that I am entitled to have access to this apartment I'm staying in, and all my food in it, and all my nice, comfy things. And there's other people out there who aren't allowed to have that stuff just because they don't have this thing called money. And it just, to me, it seems like everything could have been avoided if everyone just cared about each other and they stopped caring about money. Because really the only reason someone becomes homeless is because someone else cares more about money than they do about them. And it's usually, actually in reality, everyone cares more about money than they do about homeless people. But I honestly wish we didn't live in a world where homeless people was a common two words together. Like, it's basically just two words combined into one because of the way it's used so frequently to describe people who live on the streets and not inside of a building. Because if you were to change the wording to, like, you know, maybe say, like, there's some people who are forced against their will to live without a house or shelter or food or any other necessities by the government. And I say the government as a blanket term for just everything above us or above the lower level citizens, you know, lower class. That decides the way the world works and makes the rules for this economy. And it makes me quite sad to think that every person here was born to two parents, and depending on how they were raised and what they experienced as a child, shaped their worldview and their understanding of themselves in a way that's unique to every individual person, as well as the environment they were raised in and the time that they were raised in, which the setting is basically the word describing both of those. And it also makes me sad that people are always trying to blame others for the issues when they forget to accept that they're actually the main cause of the issue. Because if it weren't for my actions, and if it weren't for your actions and everyone else's, well, it all starts with you and what comes from in here. And when I was thinking of joining the Navy, I got close. I had my departure date set. I went to the meeting. I at the recruiting center. But then I backed out, and I told them in person that I thought I had schizophrenia. So that's the reason why I didn't want to. Because they were pressing me for a reason why I wouldn't want to go. And then when it came to, okay, so you have to write out a letter to higher up explaining you would like to be requested to be removed from the military. So then I did that. And I didn't mention anything about me thinking I was schizophrenic. So the next time when I brought it into them and they read it, everyone in the office, they were all basically just silent for a little bit. Like, my recruiter read it first, and then she gave it to another recruiter, and they all just kind of looked at each other and were like, and then eventually there was a male recruiter person who finally spoke and was like, so we get these letters a lot and we hear this all the time, so what's the real reason you don't want to join the military? And I was just like, that is the reason. Like, the first paragraph I got online for, like, the whatever thing they said the first paragraph had to be, but all the reasons I gave were my own. And then I just left, and it's weird because I thought one time I was driving after that, and I thought I saw my recruiter, like, beside me on the road, and, like, she looked like she was deep in thought, and I was just, like, wondering if I really had any impact on them whatsoever. So, in the letter, I mean, I could get it so I could read it to you guys. But, I'll just explain it for now. I basically just said, talking about peace, love, and understanding, and how instead of war, we should choose those three things. And I mean, I know that my letter probably didn't reach higher up enough, but just the impact that it has on each individual life is enough for me to feel like I was able to accomplish something. And honestly, I find it incredibly flawed the way that humans are shaped to pick on other people and, like, elect a president and then say a bunch of mean stuff about them even though they actually have never met them in person, or just say anything about them with only ever having, like, seen them online. I think it's not realistic. So, I don't only feel bad for the woman that I saw on the video today. I also feel bad for anyone who's in a position of getting a lot of money for whatever job they do, because, I mean, I honestly don't think I could think of a job that someone would stay at unless they were making enough money to be able to afford what they need in life, first of all, but also sometimes what they want in life. And I don't really think it's necessary to choose a side. I think that our parents are both just as responsible for us being here. And it's not only them, but it's also akin to time. Basically, God. Because if I was the ruler of a government, I would decide, no matter the worries of the upper class citizens and everyone who benefits and has been privileged and become used to everything here, because I know that it's worrisome to hear about change when things have been going good for you. But I think things could go even better for the people who haven't had very good lives. But not only them, also for you. Because you guys who are higher up probably have a lot of measures taken to ensure that your belongings stay safe in your house and your family stays safe and everything you care about. You have passwords on your phone, and you have all these personal bodyguards, in theory, just to make sure everything that's valuable to you is kept safe. But if it weren't so necessary to have money in order to simply survive and live a day longer on this planet, then I don't think crime would even exist. I think that, well, you know, I read a comment on a video that was recommended to me by one of my loyal commenters, but it was like a song that they recommended called like "Hey Something," like a word I haven't heard. was a comment on the video of that song that reminded me of just the common occurrences within someone else's brain, which sometimes is cops and robbers and that dynamic. And I feel like the only thing that should be a replica of two sides in the like material world should be just the understanding that there's two sexes, male and female. And that's not material, so I don't know what that would apply to, if anything, but when it comes to everything else, I don't think there should be two sides. Well, I gotta take this over. I'll get back to you guys then.